Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So this is our regular monthly roundup of what's going on in terms of the most popular blockchain games. So I'm taking the on-chain data. So this is all the activity that's happening on a blockchain, data from DappRadar, and got three graphs in this video, or sort of two and a half really. So we'll look at the biggest games first, then we'll look at some much slightly smaller ones. Obviously, the sort of market conditions. Really, especially since May, but really for the whole of 2022 have been sort of downwards in terms of crypto prices. So a lot of these games, their underlying tokens have gone down in price a lot. So most of them are down over 90% in terms of all-time high, and maybe even down 50-60% in terms of what's been happening since May, when particularly crypto prices have been hit. So that's the sort of general market context. Obviously, we have the other context we have is what's going on in terms of the individual games, and in general, while I would say the market conditions have sort of put downward pressure on the number of people playing games, because obviously people often play these games for some sort of idea of financial benefit, whether it's immediate benefit or long-term benefit. If the token prices are going down, that means all the asset prices are going down as well. So generally, we'd expect people to be playing less. So the biggest thing to talk about really during June 2022 was Splinterlands. So Splinterlands, this yellow line, was the biggest blockchain game. Had been for about a year or so, and had sort of peaked at over 400,000 daily active unique wallets. Trading card game, sort of like, think of it as a simple version, or simpler version of Hearthstone. Where you basically you buy NFTs, which are cards. You can level those cards up, make them more powerful. You play other people. You gain rewards on a 2-weekly tournament cycle. So obviously these sort of spikes in activity every 2 weeks, because where you end up on that leaderboard means what sort of rewards you get. You get higher up leaderboard, more rewards, obviously. So one of the big things with Splinterlands is we've never really known how many bots, how many sort of automated accounts there have been. We know there's been a whole bunch for a lot of these blockchain games. We know that's the case. The Splinterlands developers are not really bothered so much about bots. They don't try and stop them. But what they're trying to do is make sure people who own accounts that are being run by bots are sort of investing and buying NFTs. Because the whole point of these sort of games is you want a strong economy, which means while people are earning rewards, they're also sort of spending. Maybe they're spending more than they're earning in rewards to get better cards, to level up, to that's generally where the sort of play to earn sort of game design idea is going. That we are not just expecting people to play a game and just extract. We're expecting some people to play a game and extract, but other people to be playing the game and actually investing more over time, maybe extracting at different points. So what's happened here? A big drop here. So Splinterlands went down from over 300,000 daily active unique wallets down to under 100,000. It's recovered a bit during June into July. But basically, over a very short period of time, a couple of days, it lost 2/3 of its audience. So, excuse me. So what happened here? So there was a big change happened in terms of the reward structure. So instead of being able to sort of rock up every day, play some battles, sort of win enough to get some rewards, and then sort of rinse and repeat, they changed it. So you have to play battles to even get into the reward structure. So you don't just start winning rewards the first time you win. And they've also changed it now that basically, sort of previously, if you as long as you kept winning battles, you kept going up the leaderboard, and if you lost battles, you didn't go back down again. Now there's sort of an elastic effect that if you win enough battles to get up to the sort of the reward level, if you then start losing a whole bunch, you sort of go back down again. And the rewards are now basically geared. They've been turned up, so the higher you get up the leaderboards, the more rewards you get. So it's sort of much with Axie Infinity and their new changes. That they're looking at is you don't just get rewards for playing the daily missions. You get rewards for playing really well and being a skilled player and having a good set of underlying assets, in this case cards. So what's happened here, as far as I can make out, is basically for a lot of bot accounts, obviously it costs money to run bot accounts, electricity. Electricity prices are going up everywhere, I think, in the world. So the reward structure was changed. A whole bunch of these bots now suddenly became cost more money to run than they were generating in rewards. Also part of this, underlying the SLP, the SPS price, the token for Splinterlands has gone down quite a lot. So that Also means you're earning less rewards. But there's this big change here. So basically, what's happened here is basically 2/3 of the audience of Splinterlands was bots, and it's gone down now. So probably still are some bots in here, I would imagine, but mainly, now we're seeing sort of a more sort of stronger idea of actual human players. I guess bots will come back in as they sort of work out what they need to do. Basically, for bots need to be cleverer, and they need to invest more in buying cards. So a lot of just sort of simple bots, I guess, will never come back. Maybe people start building cleverer bot systems. We'll see what happens. Basically, that's why this big change has happened. For other games, actually, not a lot has happened. So Alien Worlds, again, a game we're not quite sure how many bots are in there. It's sort of continued in about 200,000. Sort of mark. That's quite a lot, I think, for the sort of gameplay in there, which is basically a sort of a mining system, and there's some sort of DAO stuff going on there. There's going to be some updates coming with their PvP things. Again, not a sort of a super deep game in many respects. But yeah, it's not lost any audience really, even though the price of the token has gone down quite a lot. So just sort of say that. Farmers World, again, sort of has gone down from about 150,000 down to about 100,000. So it's lost sort of 50% of its audience in June. Again, I would put that down to it being a fairly simple game. Probably quite a lot of bots on there running on the Wax blockchain, so fairly easy to bot in terms of transaction costs. And the token price has gone down, so that makes that less efficient. We've got Axie Infinity in here. Only got like 2 months worth. That radar seems to have been changing how it's getting Axie Infinity data, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But again, Axie Infinity, we don't really expect anything to happen on that game for a couple of months while they're sort of building out this new Axie Infinity Origins version. So I don't expect to see anything there. We can have a quick look here. So this is Axie Infinity DAUs, Daily Active Unique Wallets. So these are these green dots every week. So this is not on chain. This is off chain. So this is people just playing the Axie Infinity game and not interacting with the blockchain, which is why which is why there's a big difference between these dots and this green line. I just put that in to show at the start of the year, Axie Infinity had 2.5 million people playing every day. It's gone down very steadily since then. That's mainly driven by the price of the SLP token, the underlying utility token. But we can still see Axie Infinity, to some degree, is still the most popular blockchain game. All these other games are sort of fully on chain, or pretty much fully on chain. So there's a sort of difference of what we're measuring there. Okay, let's have a look at the. So these are the sort of smaller scale ones. So in that previous graph, so this one starts at 5. The scale here is 500,000 daily unique active wallets. This is 100,000. So these are much smaller games. So and in the much smaller games, I guess we see in May we see much sort of sort of not very stronger downturn, but all these three. So Crypto Blades, Pegaxi, and DeFi Kingdoms all have fairly strong downward pressure in terms of their daily sort of user base. Again, I would suggest in most of these cases this is down to the token price going down. So certainly I played DeFi Kingdoms, token price is down pretty heavily over the last few months, 90%. So that's going to reduce people playing the game. I guess it's interesting if we get down to sort of a plateau, we get the hardcore people who are playing the game because they like the game or part of the community and not so bothered about maybe what might be short-term token pricing. I guess what's interesting with these sort of games is if the token price starts going up and the market rebounds, do some of these games go to zero? Which ones of these games can sort of rebound? So that's what I'm looking for in the next few months, really. Uplands is a bit of a different case. It's a sort of Monopoly style mobile game. It does have sort of its version of NFTs and it does have its own currency, but it's not like an open blockchain game. So it's a mobile game through the app stores, and if you want to buy their currency, you buy it using in-app purchase. Your App Store, Google Play or Apple App Store sort of accounts. So it's not like a free flowing crypto game where you can sort of take things in and out of wallets. So there's different sort of mechanic going on here, but again, we can see, I guess this is sort of market conditions that sort of come down from 50,000 down to 35, I guess. So that's quite a lot down from the start of the year. So I mean, I think Uplands has a different sort of mechanic going on there. It's much more driven by its own product and what's going on there in terms of launching and stuff like that. And maybe people now, it's been out for, people have been playing for a couple of years, so maybe you're starting to get sort of churn, just sort of natural churn coming up. So anyway, that's what happened during June. Splinterlands drop was the big thing. That was a product-led change. Everything else, at best, didn't lose any audience, but some of these other games, particularly some of the smaller ones, lost fairly large amounts of their audience, and that's just sustained loss in the underlying tokens, which obviously all sort of crypto games, all sort of crypto backed products are sort of liable to see if you go into a sort of a macroeconomic situation where asset prices are going down, then people are just less interested. So that's what's going on. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe. See you again soon.